So you guys went to Top Golf yesterday?
We sure did, girl.
I said, why couldn't she go today where she was already driving out here?
Because the kid's daddy was picking him up today.
Oh.
And I was like, well, let me just make time for this. Because at first I was going to do it today. But I said, you know what? Let me make time for this instead of I don't want to get here and rush and then go, so yeah. But we had fun. Girl.
Yeah. Did you smell the sewer? Like when I went at night, I felt like they were running like every 20 minutes, and it would smell like fish to where I wouldn't even order food because I said, what? I said, is somebody cooking some disgusting fish? It's right next to the sewer plant, so it was. I don't know if it was. They hadn't got it together because this is when they were kind of newly opened, and maybe they didn't work out the schedules with the sewer plant or whatever, but I kept smelling it. I had to leave. I was
no, it was good. It was good. This was our second time. We went in May, around like May 15th or somewhere between there anyway, and it was so good. I was like, oh, I know the kids will really love this, so I brought them back.
Okay, yeah. That'll be a good date little thing to do.
And you can get drunk and do nasty stuff right there.
I don't want to date or get drunk, but yeah, I would tell others. I will tell others. Okay, welcome to another episode of Dairy Free Game. I have one of my very, very best friends, Belle, here with me. I'm super, super excited. She traveled a long way, so we want to dive right into everything she has going on. But first, let me just give you a little rundown. Belle is a Grammy Award-winning, Billboard charting, songwriting California native. She is living her life out loud on her own terms with a testimony and resume that speaks for itself. Now, before we get into it, we're going to start this episode like we do every episode, which is taste test. Now, Belle pretends to be dairy free, like she's dairy free, but she's like a backslider. So she, on a regular basis, tries to be without dairy, but sometimes reverts back. She loves grilled cheese and she loves pesto. We actually made pesto. Didn't we make pesto? It was like Alfredo when we did the live, when we thought our life was about to end for COVID and we had to do everything like online.
Oh,
we had made Alfredo and then we mixed it with pesto.
You taught us how to make the dairy-free pesto.
With the Alfredo.
Right. That's right. And all those skills went out the window for me. See what I'm saying?
She wants to put pesto on everything. So she just wanted a grilled cheese. We just have a simple pesto. I actually got the pesto from Trader Joe's because it's vegan. And I want people to be able to get what I say, because sometimes they don't want to make it from scratch. So,
and that's the problem, because when I drive through the Starbucks drive-through, even though I'm on strike, it's been about 5 days.
Oh my God, that's amazing! 5 days?
You already know it's been 5 days.
I was thinking about getting you a Starbucks gift card, but I said no.
I'm so glad you didn't do it. Ooh,
I rebuke Satan's thoughts.
I'm so glad you didn't do it. So they have a crispy grilled cheese, but I said, what's better than that? But a grilled cheese with pesto on it, though.
I was gonna be real ignorant and do the sun-dried tomatoes and all that.
Yes.
And I was like, no, we're not doing that because I need people to know that the cheese and the pesto alone is good. So give it a honest try.
Let me see, girl. Let me see.
I'm gonna taste a little bit. I'm going to eat with my best friends after this. So
okay, I like it. This is the thing.
Hold on.
How can we get a good pull from the
I'm gonna tell
cheese?
you. When it's been sitting out, then it kind of. So this was more melted.
No, it's melted. It's creamy. I can taste the pesto and the sun-dried tomatoes would have taken that thing all the way for real. I love it.
This is a trick. When you do the grilled cheese, you can't just do it like regular grilled cheese because it really doesn't melt. So what I do is I take the bread, I put 2 slices of the Follow Your Heart provolone cheese, or you can do smoked Gouda. I don't do any cheddar cheeses out the grocery store. They don't work. But I put the cheese on top of the bread, and then I either put it in the broiler or I put it in the microwave so that it melts as much as it can melt. And then I do the grilled cheese on the stove. And then sometimes I'll put the top cover over it just to get the steam, because without liquid, it really doesn't melt as well as normal cheese. I'm not going to even lie.
Okay. So there is a process. There is a process. For
No.
me, I be backsliding, like you said. And I backslide because if you're a busy person, you don't have that much time to like sit down and really just go get these things you need. How I just need to know how can I do it fast food route. You know what I mean? Especially since I live in the land of the desert. How can I do it fast food route? Like if we're on the go, what does that look like for us?
Well, I think a lot of people don't focus on other things that are flavorful that don't even contain dairy to start with. So people think creamy, and of course they do the Caesar dressings and the ranch, but
Yeah.
a vinaigrette is just as tasty. I know some people say, "Oh, I'm always getting a vinaigrette," but there's so many different vinaigrettes. The Asian sesame dressing that I make that everybody loves, you literally can just put lettuce and green onions and be gone. You can do honey Dijons. You can mix and match with just all kind of things. I think cheese is like a cop out for me. I never was a big cheese person. I would put cheese on my burgers, but as far as like cheese on a taco, I don't want cheese on a taco. I want the seasoned meat, seasoned to perfection. But I do love sour cream. Sour cream was my thing. Sour cream will, but it's like a texture thing, and cheese has a little bit of salt in it, so I understand why people like it. But just season your food correctly, and people will discover that they don't really need cheese
Yeah.
on certain things.
Yeah.
It's just what they're used to. So it's just like swap out at the grocery store. But just like I said, certain of the shreds have to be manipulated, and that's not really a on the go type of thing. So you will have to lend yourself to the stuff that doesn't require dairy instead of dairy substitutions.
And that's where it gets hard for me. Because, like I said, we go to different places and they always have something good on the menu. And if your flesh is not yet strong, which mine is,
On the,
I'm about 80%. I'm 80%. You know, I would say I'm 80% dairy free. Probably a little more. But it's that grilled cheese from Starbucks that makes me, it's the devil.
okay, I want to get into the devil and dairy and all that, but I want to start with everything that you have done. Me and Belle have known each other since we were like 18. I've seen her rise, her journey, her difficulties. But I want to know a little bit about like how you got started in the music industry, how you got started singing, songwriting, and then some of the artists that you've worked with.
I hate talking about myself, and she knows this. But my father was a singer, gospel singer, Five Blind Boys of Mississippi. And I think it was probably natural to just sing, get into it. For the longest, I could just remember singing. Being in girl groups, doing cute little fun things in elementary because we were on like Full House, Rock.
What
Our
you doing,
girl
the
group
talent
was
shows?
bomb, honey.
What
Oh
you doing?
yes, Row Entertainment. Shout out Watts, California. They know what it is. um, so yeah, we started out doing that. If I can remember, our girl group's name was Too Loked Out. So you know we was in the hood. You know we was ghetto, baby.
Watts for real. Okay.
For sure. And I always thought that I was gonna be like this big old solo artist, but of course I was not this small and I was not this light. So after a while, I would say I probably got a little bit defeated, a little bit
Yeah.
on the solo artist tip. Started branching off, and the next thing I know, I'm doing background for people.
Who was your first background gig with? Do you remember?
Okay, I don't remember who the very first, but the first professional one, Eric Benet was the first professional one.
He was first? I always thought he was like after you had been with like Miley and all them.
No,
Like,
he was
he was
first.
first?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was first. He was first. He was first. And then, you had the little sprinkles in betweens. Okay, so for me, if I did not sing for you more than a year, I don't even add that. Okay, some people are going around doing 1 gig or 2 gigs, and then they're all of a sudden they're expert online telling people what to do. I just feel like if you didn't really work for that artist for a
not a spot
specific
date,
amount of
but an actual
don't talk about a spot date
a
with me.
spot date. You
We're
did
not gonna
one
do it.
union gig on TV and then that's it.
No,
Like no, we actually toured and got per diem weekly or day, whatever the thing is. Yeah.
Well, when okay, and this is another thing. So anyway, let me because I don't want to jump off subject, but yeah, Eric, and then it went to Christina. Then it went to
Aguilera, that is.
Yep, it went to Christina. Then it went to Miley. But actually, Idina Menzel was in between that too. I forgot. And we all were pregnant at the same time. So her and Tay Diggs' baby, we all got pregnant. When I say at the same time, the same month, we were like, I'm pregnant too, I'm pregnant too, I'm pregnant too. So all of our kids, her and the other background singer are all the same age. And we all had boys. Oh. Which was so cute.
Roman, right? Not Walker.
Roman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we all have boys. That was so cute. And but yeah, went to that, and in between that, it was like just the desires. Like, oh, I still want to write. I still want to, but I mean, what did I do? I did the theme song for R&B Divas, and I did other songs, but I just honestly can't remember, to be honest with you. But writing, and now I'm back to just doing me. Now I'm back to being that little girl again, just kind of doing me, pretty much. Dance music, house music, that's where it's at for me right now. Yeah, that's it. Did I leave anything out?
No, but I do want to talk about the vocal nodules. And I know that you had to have surgery. Can you tell me what that process was like? How did you come to find out that you had it, and what were some contributing factors? I know dairy plays a part in don't you mad at dairy? You mad at dairy?
I'm sorry, I want to nuck if you buck on dairy. I promise you I do.
Okay,
so because I sang a lot, and the tours that I did that I had to do were very strenuous. So it's like 6 days a week. It just depends upon. I was going back and forth. It depends. It started with Christina Aguilera, because she loved Negroes hollering up and through behind her. So it started with her. That's when the voice actually took a turn. And I noticed I just could not get well. My voice would not go back to normal. Or maybe like for a week, I'd have a normal week. And then after a while, so I would get hoarse and we couldn't rest because we were 6 days a week singing 2-hour shows, 6 days a week around the world for a full year. I'm going on like year tours, never coming home, that type of thing. And yeah. And so, yeah, that was let me see, because this is how long it took for the throat to actually go out on me. Between 2006 and 2014, that's how long it took for the throat to actually literally go out on me. Yeah, honestly, it was the worst and scariest time of life, to be honest with you, because you already know, we friends. So not only was I going through that, but I was going through other life issues too. And so everything all at once, I think the stress really got to me. So I had nodules on both sides, busted blood vessels on both sides. And what that is that when you're trying to sing, it just closes. And it's hitting against one another. When you sing, that needs to open. It doesn't need to close. And it was just so freaking bad. And with that, what was keeping me, I didn't know this was keeping me. I was taking a bunch of vitamin D. So vitamin D12 was actually keeping me over longer. And I didn't learn it until after I had to go. Actually, I was on tour with Miley, and I was just having throat issues. And they took me to see Dr. Nasiri. And Dr. Nasiri told me the bad news. And he was like, yeah, you're going to have to rest. But I'm like, dude, I can't. We're about to get ready to go for a year. I can't rest. That's not going to work. What am I going to do? And so I went out on tour with her. And I won't say luckily, but I will say luckily, because I had personal stuff going on that made me quit right in the middle. And as soon as I quit, my voice literally just went out on me. And so I had to have the surgery. After I had the surgery, I noticed, okay, when I eat this, this doesn't work for me anymore. Before, I could eat anything. I felt like nobody could stop me. I felt like I was untouchable with this. Now it's more I'm walking around kind of like in remission, like a cancer patient in essence. Like you're in remission because at any given time you can do something silly and mess it up all over again. So that's when I learned that dairy was the thing. It was like, oh, okay, girl, this dairy is not cute for you. And then you were going through your thing at the same time and going through a journey too. So as I'm hearing you speak about what you're dealing with and how it's affecting you, I'm like, maybe that's what's going on. So now if I eat a piece of dairy, I can't sing for a good week. It's like I can't
that?
do it.
How do you see the changes like in your body when you go without dairy? Like, do you feel like you have more energy? Do you feel less bloated? Like, is your skin clear?
Okay, so what I notice is that I'm an old lady when I'm eating dairy. I'm just, you know what I mean? It's like an old lady. You get up and you're like, why are my knees hurting? Like, why?
Like sluggish
It's
a little
causing inflammation because that mucus is coming through and it's sitting in your body. So it's causing these ailments to happen. And it's not cute, but sometimes you get a good meal that you just don't want to pass up and they say it has a little bit of dairy in it. I feel like me changing dairy is like changing friends, changing how, like who I hang out with, because it's a whole lifestyle. Yeah. Because when I'm hanging out with certain people, they want to do all the stuff that I can't do, but I be wanting to do a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And then you wake up with a hangover the next day, or
you wake up 100 because you can barely move. You can barely move. The voice, you all day long. And the more you clear your throat, the worse off you are becoming, because you should not be clearing your throat as a vocalist at all anyway.
Really?
You should not clear your throat.
So what does that mean? Like, if you need to clear your throat, is that a sign that like there's mucus there, or there's something?
Yeah, there's mucus there, or there's nodules there. Mucus, nodules, or polyps. Because a lot of the times we clear our throats thinking we feel something. Because that's what I was doing as well. I'm thinking that I'm feeling something. And it's like, something's weird here. It's nodules. It's nodules, So they tell us definitely not to clear our throat. You got to let it come on up by itself. Drink water and that whole thing.
I didn't know that.
You ain't supposed to clear your throat. You are not supposed to clear your throat.
Okay, so after you had the surgery, did you see that it was easy to get back into singing? Did your range kind of deplete, or how was that?
Before I had the surgery, Jennifer was about to do Vegas. Jennifer Lopez was about to do Vegas. And Erin and I were her girls. But Erin had started to be off doing her own thing. And I had yet to really even think about that. So I had gotten a call. In between this time, it was me finding out I'm pregnant with a second baby. So I had the surgery. It was a 6-month process because I wasn't supposed to be speaking.
So we was cackling on that phone.
Baby, after 3 months, I was done. Girl, what you doing? So it was a 6-month process, though. But what I will say is this. When I had the surgery, and I wasn't supposed to speak, but when I got up off the table, I was like, I just needed to make sure
my voice still worked.
I needed to make sure it was there. When they set me on that table, and it was like, okay, we're about to go down, I just had to cry. I said, y'all can just give me 2 minutes. I have to cry for this voice I just cultivated all my life. Because now y'all telling me this thing is going to be different. Now y'all telling me I'm going to have to relearn stuff like a cripple. And when you talk about your livelihood, it makes me think of like this new Celine Dion documentary. I cried through that whole thing. I said, really? I can't even finish. I can't watch this.
Should I give it a gander?
Girl.
If I want to cry, huh?
If you want to be sad.
Well, I don't know it to be 100%. I heard that that she doesn't speak before she sings.
Well, I don't like to talk either. I like for folks to leave me alone. Because for one, you want to have all that energy. Number two, you just kind of need to get your mind ready for what you are doing. And if I'm already abusing my throat back here, laughing and cackling with y'all, then I've given half of my 2 hour show to y'all instead of to them. You know what I mean? So yeah, you shouldn't be speaking. Not to mention thinking about being human and doing this. We have these things that are just uncontrollable. That's can happen or not happen. And that's what's happening with her. That's what happened with me. Uncontrollable. So to answer your question, did my voice just go back? Honestly, the range did go back. But as soon as I start singing again, I funked that bad boy up again.
How?
Because I didn't have a teacher to teach me how to learn how to re-sing again. So what they don't tell you is you need a moment. You need to go and learn how to sing again.
And what would that consist of? Because I feel like, not that we all can't learn, but like you've been a singer. So what would somebody be able to teach you that will help you to get your voice
this
back?
Is the thing. You've been a singer and you've been singing wrong because you jacked up your voice.
To begin with, yeah.
So you've been doing something wrong. But my wrong was continuing to tour and sing on a throat, on a hoarse throat. So if it's hoarse, it's swollen. That means you need to let it die down. Or if you keep singing on it, it's going to beat against one another and then eventually cause a callus like
and then
this.
That's what
causes the nodules. My first time back singing was the Sunday service choir. Like back singing. Like I had done this Taraji P. White Hot Christmas thing, but that was cute. That was just the cute singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first time back was that. And that's when I knew.
Were you singing soprano? Or both?
So in the Sunday service choir, alto is soprano.
Yeah,
and them tenors are altos.
Right.
Them sopranos, I don't know where they are. Okay? I don't know where they are.
In another world.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. And so I've always been a lazy soprano anyway. But the nodules took all of that away. It took my whistle tones. It took everything away. And those have never been recovered. The whistle tone.
What's a whistle tone?
Like Mariah Carey.
Oh,
Yes. I used to do that like just in my sleep. I could just do it. It didn't matter. Now it's like,
pretty thing.
I can't do it. It's not coming out. It won't come out. So when I got there, that's when I realized, ooh God, I have work to do. You know what I mean? For one, my muscles from having kids and C-sections. So the singing, you have to have good stomach muscles too. Right. And so that was really rough doing that. But what I will say is the surgery gave me a new start. I just didn't use the new start the way I should have. So now I'm kind of back at square one in essence. Because now I'm scared to do certain things. I'll be like, if it don't pay enough for me to mess up my throat, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just... Because
you like, listen, I used to be able to have another surgery.
There was some days I wanted to tell Jason, you're going to have to kiss my tail today. Because I don't think I have that note in me. So I might be lip syncing on you today. I don't know. But by the grace, honey, it was by the grace, child. I got through. But it was rough, But that dairy... I could not eat that whole time. So that was vocally the best time that I've had because I was forced to actually do it.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You had to break the chain.
So I could see where, oh, wow, it's just, there's literally nothing. Even as it pertains to gas, let's just be honest. None of it was happening. So it was like the best time.
Yeah. So with you having a family that doesn't care about dairy or anything, they just want to eat whatever, how have they embraced this journey? Like, do the boys like the dairy-free things that you make, or do you still make cheese things for them, or do you just kind of cut out certain things like not using butter and almond milk or, oat milk or rice milk or pistachio milk instead of like, what is that like?
Sometimes they like cheese on their tacos. But now I started buying this vegan cheese, and child, I can't even tell the difference.
Well, what cheese is it?
Because I forgot. It's like a black and orange, maybe.
I think it's like VOA. That's the only one with the black bag.
If it's a black bag, that's got to be the name.
Is it cheddar? Because I don't like any of the cheddar.
I think it's a
cheese.
cheddar because it's the cheese blend that goes on the cheese, but they can't tell the difference. What I noticed is, like you said earlier, honestly, cheese is an illusion. We really don't need it.
Yeah, it's a comfort. It's like before you even taste the food, you want to add. It's like the hot sauce. Like people want to add hot sauce, and I said, well, my food doesn't need hot sauce. My fried chicken, yeah. But sometimes they like the wetness of it, or they like, cheese does have a texture, but we really don't need it.
I don't miss it, especially when I eat your food, because we've had a plethora of different things. We've had enchiladas, we've had mac and cheese. There was
that dip, that cream cheese
cousin,
dip.
I still want to fight her over this dip because she got most of the dip.
And she was licking it on camera, just the bowl and everything. I think a little was on her side.
It was so good. So I feel like you can live the lifestyle. You just have to stay around people who are in that same lifestyle. You just have to.
Or you have to just incorporate it to where it's second nature. Like, I know what I can and can't eat. Like, I've looked at enough of the packages to know what contains dairy, because sometimes we think we're being dairy free because we're taking cheese off, but we're not realizing that the potato chips or the bread has dairy in them. And the rule of thumb is to shop on the outside of the supermarket. Anything that's packaged is going to have the preservatives, and it's going to be more sugar based, wheat, dairy, of course, and nuts. And there's a lot of allergies with that. Like it's half of my clients can't have gluten, or they are allergic to peanuts. Dennis is allergic to nuts, so I have to make everything with oat milk. And I'm like, you just gonna have to do a little and get some Benadryl, because I'm not making a whole little side plate. But it's just now I know. So when I go to a restaurant, I look at the menu ahead of time, and I'm like, oh, I can have that. We know that like the tuna tartars don't have dairy in it. So I have like my go-to things. Any restaurant that I go to, I'm pretty confident like, oh, they got a nice salad with a vinaigrette, or they have a burger. I can do a protein style unless they have a bun. And then a lot of places are really incorporating dairy-free elements. So they'll have like the vegan cheese, and it'll be good. I think I went to Granville like 2 weeks ago with J. Marie, and I got a burger, and I said, oh, take off the cheese. And then I said, oh, does the bun have dairy? So the waiter kind of just was being attentive, and he said, oh, actually we have vegan cheese. We have a Gouda and we have a mozzarella. So I was able to have, and it needed some seasoning. I ain't gonna hold you, but it was a delicious burger. Like all the components, the setup was good. It just needed a little bit of salt. But yeah, and I just wish more people would do that. Like all you have to do is just have a vegan cheese option. It's not even like, I'm not asking you to make me plant-based. And that's why I struggle, is because I'm not vegan.
Yeah, no, that is very true. I also found that going to Costco, I was getting that soup, the chicken soup one day, because I was sick and I didn't want to make chicken soup. It has dairy in it.
I don't understand
why would you put dairy in a healing soup?
And it's broth, so it really doesn't need it. Like to me, butter, when people make gumbo and they cook the veggies in butter, I be confused, because it's not like you can taste the butter in that big thing of, you're just so used to it. Like, that's how my grandma did it.
Yeah.
We don't have to do the butter. Those are things that don't even, vegetables, like you can do the smart balance or earth balance, and you can't taste the difference. Anybody that says like, I can tell, no, you can't. It's just, you want to be a problem.
I'm going to tell you something. My country Bammer husband, okay, I get my butter, that smart balance. I buy all my butter, and he buys his butter, right? Mm-hmm. My butter is always gone. And I don't do majority of the cooking. Okay?
You know where you can
that
get
butter
the
is
smart
really
balance?
good.
You know where you can get the smart balance the cheapest?
Where?
Smart and Final. So it's like $10.99 to $11.99 at Vons and Ralph's, and stores like Walmart and like Sprouts. They always have a smaller thing, and they'll have
I
get the big one. At Smart and Final, it is $8.99. Save me $3.
I sure will, because I love the good savings. I love a
Smart
good
and Final
savings.
has some really good. They have really good orange juice.
That chicken.
They have. I get the
that rotisserie chicken. Somebody
You've had
back there
that?
putting seasoning salt on that rotisserie chicken.
Smart and Final.
And Smart and Final, that
I've
doggone
never.
chicken
Vines
is
has a
seasoned.
chicken that's like a garlic something, like a whole chicken that's pretty good.
Go
I
to
ain't gonna
Smart
even
and
hold
Final
you.
and get that. When I tell you that chicken is seasoned,
It probably got dairy.
do you think it can have dairy? The rotisserie?
Because sometimes they would inject it with like a butter thing.
See what I'm saying? It's
We just don't know.
always,
And that's what I tell people, like, I know I've ingested dairy. I think I unknowingly did because I have 2 breakouts. But it's not like, it's probably something cooked. I was on set and we had our second meal and the only thing that was open was Subway. So they got a tuna sandwich. So I just got a tuna sandwich, which was fine, but I didn't know that they had put Swiss cheese and it was the same color as the tuna. And we're outside, it's dark. I take a bite and I chew it. Literally within 3 minutes, I start sweating profusely. My stomach start hurting. I had to go and like regurgitate it. And then it took me a second, and then I opened it up and saw that there was a thing of cheese. So like cheese, no. I never was a milk drinker, but if I eat like some bread that I thought was dairy free and it wasn't, like a burger from somewhere, like it won't make me sick, but it might break me out or something. So, I'm trying to.
I mean, okay, so this is another thing that's become a problem. I started like in oat milk, but now I'm finding that oat milk has a lot of sugar in it. So if you're trying to lose weight and be dairy free this is just.
Have you tried pistachio milk? My friend mentioned that to me and I had never heard of it. And it's at specialty stores. I'm sure it's more expensive because there's a whole bunch. There's rice milk. There's oat milk.
So oat milk. Okay, so I love almond, but oat milk is like thicker. That's why I like it. So it's like I can use this for this, that one for this one.
But cashew seems to be a thicker milk.
Cashew is
cashew.
Okay.
If you do I think the silk, they have a cashew instead of almond.
Okay.
And cashew is a little bit thicker. But the problem is that some of those have vanilla in it. And that's cool for my baking, but when I make my like bechamel sauce or Alfredo sauce, I want unsweetened, which I usually use Simple Truth, unsweetened and original. So it's no vanilla and it's no sugar.
Well, I have found, now I wish I came with the facts on this, but I have
Don't go lie. Are we lying?
No, we're not lying. Okay. I just don't remember the name of it. I know it comes in like this orangish, reddish box with white. But I found heavy whipping cream that was dairy free.
Really?
And Sprouts, girl. Be cooking that thing up.
I use the whipping cream that I do for my banana pudding. It's vegan, and I get it from well, I ain't gonna tell y'all because I don't want y'all making it. But it's a big old thing.
They can go to the website.
It's heavy whipping cream.
It's heavy whipping cream.
And I don't even know what I would use heavy whipping cream on because I've been so used to just manipulating things on my own that I wouldn't even know what things would require.
Like it's kind of like faster, like how you said. I'm just gonna pick up this pesto sauce real quick because it's kind of like that. Because we know we can make it on our own, but it's easier.
So what do you put the heavy whipping cream on? Like if you're making a sauce, it just makes it thicker, quicker.
Making a sauce, okay. And then one time I didn't have any milk, and Roman wanted baked mac and cheese, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna taste. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I put everything together with that heavy whipping cream.
Oh yeah.
And honey, it was good. They loved it too.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mac and cheese, it was cheesy too. It was cheesy. I don't know how I got that cheese to melt in that black and white bag, but I put everything inside of there and I just was stirring for dear life, honey.
It's the liquid. And I know we're jumping ahead. I usually do the tips at the end, but I'm going to throw some free game for y'all real quick. Cheese doesn't really melt. Well, vegan cheese doesn't melt like real cheese, so you have to have it with the liquid. So if you want to do,
that's why it was working.
If you want to do like enchiladas, you put the cheese shreds is what they call them. I'll put a little bit of enchilada sauce, a little taco seasoning, cilantro over the stove, and then you just pour it over, and it stays creamy the whole time. So that's the same thing with the cheese. Like it'll melt once it hits liquid.
Yeah, but you know what? So I feel like, and I think about this all the time. I honestly kind of feel like we're always trying to live in a gray area too much. You know what I mean? It's either black or it's white, right?
What you mean?
Meaning,
I
if
like gray.
if I say right, if I say I'm not gonna eat the cheese, I don't even need to be making no mock up of it, because it's like this is why it's hard for people to stay away, because you start making little, oh, I'm gonna try this and turn it into this. Just cut it out so you can cut it out. And then maybe
Like
coming
out of
back
sight, out of mind.
around to it, yes, maybe coming back around to it with the vegan cheese will actually help, because that did help me until Starbucks came out with that grilled
Yeah.
cheese.
Because if you eat macaroni and cheese every day and then you decide to do a vegan mac and cheese, you're going to be disappointed. And
You'll
it's
be
not even that it's
disappointed.
not good, because mine is good, but there is a difference. Like there is a noticeable difference. So it's
Yeah.
like cut that thing out completely.
Yeah.
And then when you have a craving, try it. And it's like
Mhm.
your taste buds will be like, ooh, that's good. And doesn't really have anything to compare it to.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
like
that's a good
even with
idea.
the kind of like, even when I think about like the vegan eaters or the vegetarian people, they had to cut stuff out for a while. Now they can come back with a mushroom and go, ooh, I'm about to fry this mushroom up. I'm about to put some seaweed on it, and that's my fried filet of sole for the day. They know how to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it now better because they had to cut everything out. So I believe that I think
Mm.
they should cut things out. Because I
Yeah.
will say, when I did, I was forced to cut it out for that 3 years or however long I was in that choir. I was forced to cut it out. So it was, I didn't even miss it at that point. I didn't miss it until I got bored and was a stay at home person again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that grilled cheese kind of looking good. I ain't got to sing it, you know,
Yeah.
but you are still affected by it. And honestly, like she said, I don't miss it. It's just kind of the mind. It's just like a mental thing, because I don't miss it. I'm not even a cheese person like that. It's just you see one thing and you go, ooh. Or like those tarts.
Which one?
It's like a cheese tart that baked
I know what you're talking about. I just never was into it. She like more for me.
I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my
I never was a
gosh.
big cheese like macaroni and cheese. I would make it even when I ate dairy. I would make it for the family for the holidays, but I wouldn't really eat it. Like I might have a little scoop, but I'm a I'm a cake pie cheesecake. I do like cheesecake. But macaroni and cheese, I could do without it.
Cheesecake. How are we doing the cheesecake? Are we just using
I
the
use the
cream
vegan cream cheese, vegan sour cream. Um, but sometimes when on the go, like how you were saying, you because it's a lot of ingredients that you have to use to kind of do it. And so sometimes that can be expensive and it's time consuming because you be having to bake it for like 60 minutes and let it do this and let it chill and then whatever. But Daya has a cheesecake. It's like this. They sell it
Oh.
at some grocery stores, but Sprouts has it for sure all the time. Like that's Sprouts jam. It's like this. They have a key lime one, which I don't like anything tart.
Daya has a key because that's my favorite.
I've never had. I just know that I don't like lemon and lime desserts, so I will never try it. I don't. I don't
Right.
even because I know what lime tastes like, and I know that I won't like it. Like, I probably should try it, but I just won't. But they have a regular one and a key lime, and it's the cheesecake. It's like $6.99, $7.99. Sometimes you can catch it on sale. And what I do is I make a blueberry or cherry compote and put it on top, and then do my vegan whipped cream, and that's it. But my cheesecake, when I make it, does taste better.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is, I ain't mad at it. Like it's good. It's pretty good.
Interesting. I do. Okay, I have another point because we got to talk to the ladies. Tell me this: does it throw off your pH balance when you eat cheese? Because I'm gonna tell you, it
Real
throws off
cheese?
my pH balance when I've been
Real
sneaking
cheese?
and eating cheese.
Oh, I haven't. And it probably did because the last time I had pH balance issues was 10 years ago
See what
before I
I'm
was
saying?
dairy free.
Before you
So
went dairy
it
free.
might, yeah.
A lot of the ladies, you know, we talk to men, we have male friends, and a lot of the ladies, there's a little issue there, right? And I feel like
there's a little
there's a little
conundrum.
issue there, right?
Mhm.
And that dairy is playing a part from head to twat, okay? Let's just say it. Okay. It's playing a part from head to twat. And I'm going to tell you this. I know that when I eat that dairy, it throws off my pH balance. Everything is bad. So not only is my throat bad, that thing is not right either. And you have to do things. And so when you do those things, you have to take the medication they give you. That's messing up more stuff. I think there are so many reasons why we should not be doing dairy. And at least, even if we can do 80%, that's a start. You know, start somewhere with it.
Cut where you can. It's like it's a drug. Just like sugar is. So I don't expect somebody, like even the drug addicts, they wean them off. They give them a little bit at a time. So it's like, just cut where you can. Whatever. Just stop putting cheese on stuff.
I'm actually proud of myself because I've been cheating, but I'm proud of myself because food is a thing for me. I'm not skinny, y'all. So we all know food is a thing. You know, it's a comfort. It's in everything. I'm just so glad that cheese is not necessarily a huge
stronghold.
You know, I don't have it doesn't have a stronghold on me, but because I get to see you live it out, it's easier for me. Sometimes when we get to see people live it out, it becomes easier. You know, we got to have an example, you know? And so she's setting that example, y'all. We got to go to the website for the book, honey, because the recipes and the crack cookies, because she needs to name them crack cookies at this point. But,
Yeah, should I do the Bobby's Best Bites? Should I start that back up?
I think that we should.
Yeah, so I would go.
You see how I just included myself?
Yeah, so I would go to different restaurants, and not vegan restaurants. I would just go to restaurants and find dairy-free things on the menu, and then I would taste test it right there. And like, if they are Bobby's Best Bites, if they're delicious, then I'll post it. And a lot of people have, you know, patronized restaurants off of that. So I think I'll start it back up.
Yeah, because pretty soon, I think some of these popular restaurants in California, since we are Cali girls, they need to have a section on the menu, Bobby's Best Bites.
Listen, get it into existence.
Yeah.
What I hate about restaurants is that they should have like more of the allergens listed. So like where it says V for vegetarian, or DF for dairy free, or VG for vegan, or gluten free. Like, they need to do that, because the waiters, they don't necessarily know. If I say, hey, they always have to go back to the kitchen, and then we're doing this song and dance, and it's been like 15 minutes, and then I end up with the salad. But if they have it right on the menu, then I know I can have this, I can't have that. And then they need people that understand what dairy is. People think that eggs are dairy. And eggs are not dairy. They come from a chicken, not a cow. And so I've had not so pleasant encounters having to check somebody who thought they were being funny because they thought I was being difficult. And I'm like, no, I'll just have that with the aioli. They're like, oh, you can't have the aioli. Like, they have eggs. I was like, well, eggs are not dairy, but Thank you. Like,
thanks for your help.
Smart. Yeah.
Thanks for your help.
Right. But I really wish that they would have more visible things to just cut out the guesswork. It could just speed things up. But yeah.
Yeah, because, okay, so remember when I told you that we went to that resort just a couple weeks ago, right? So there's a steak restaurant in there. When we enter the restaurant, before they seat you, they ask you, do you have any allergies? Are you allergic to anything that could possibly be in food? They ask you. So when the waiter or waitress brings your stuff, they go, oh, okay, this right here has this in it. This has this. This has that. Like, it was the best experience. I felt so free eating, and I wasn't tempted to have any cheese. And they had, what is it? It's the ice cream. It starts with a G.
Gelato.
They had gelato, so they made homemade gelato, and some had dairy, some did not. And so we were able to have like a cute little dessert, everything. And I was like, this is my first all like dairy-free meal at a restaurant.
From the rooter to the tutor. Like, I have a problem. I travel a lot, and I do a lot of all-inclusive.
Yeah.
But I just told my travel agent this last vacation to Punta Cana, I said, I did not enjoy my dining experience, I said, well, first of all, the language barrier was a little difficult, but then they would ask me, they said, do you have any allergies? And then when I would tell them what they are, they didn't understand what I said.
Yeah.
So then I'm like going back and forth. And the only thing that I could eat there for dessert was fruit. They're bringing tiramisu, and it's you're all inclusive, so you can eat as much as you like. They did have a cafe called Insomnia, and they had oat or soy milk or almond milk available. So I was able to have like a latte, but I'm not a coffee drinker. I like chai, and they didn't really have chai. So it was just like, I'm gonna have to eat fruit. And we were there for almost a week, so I didn't have no dessert of any kind. I might have lost a little bit of weight, but I wanted the tiramisu, I wanted the cheesecake, but they just, I don't know. They need to, they got to get it together.
So we have to travel the world finding places and teaching people how to, because it's heavy. It's difficult. Because
Certain
sometimes
resorts
I'll
have
find
it.
myself not eating if I'm the traveling is the worst. We didn't even touch on that. The traveling is the worst. And so you're right. You find yourself not eating, and then you're grouchy and you are barking at folks, where you should be nice. Dairy free on the road, honey, is
well,
hard.
if I have a car, that would be easier for me. On the resort, I mean, we left, but I didn't research it. But when I go to other states, I find the dairy free places. Like when we were in Europe, we walked maybe like 3 miles. Me and Ashley walked like 3 miles and found this dairy free vegan. They had iced lattes and donuts and coffee, and everything was dairy free. When I go to New York, I get on that subway for 45 minutes, and I go to what's the girl? It's called McKenna's. They have it out here too, but they had one in New York, and then there's a place called Red Bamboo. So I can get it, but it's those all inclusive places that have you stuck on that island, and you're just at the mercy of whatever they have to eat.
Yeah. And so in essence, you have to be committed to it. You have to be committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, committed to take the 45-hour, 45 or whatever minute train
and
ride or whatever.
It helps me to be more disciplined just in my life, because it's like I can't have that. And so I have to be proactive. I have to call. I have to research. It's helping me fine tune my customer service interaction skills, how to articulate properly and as concise as possible, and then as quickly as possible too, because I don't want to hold up the line and be doing all this back and forth. So it's just helping me to just be more efficient in my everyday life, being dairy free. So it's really a win-win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So as we close, we could pretty much talk all day, and we will, but I want you to give the people a tip. It could be food related or just as a singer, songwriter. What is some advice that has been helpful to you on your journey?
All my life, everything that I have done, I've been so scared to do it, but I've always done it. So my tip is to do it scared. Whatever you do, if you're trying to cut out dairy and you're scared to do it, still do it, because you know it's the right thing to do. If you are trying to jump out on a new business venture, it's the right thing to do. It's put in you for a reason, so do it. There's gonna be plenty of things that you do in life that are scary, and those are normally the best things. They turn out very, very great for you. So my advice is always to do it scared.
I know that's right. And like I said before, I threw out my tip earlier, but to reiterate, if you're looking to get creaminess with your cheese shreds, as they call it, mix it with the liquid. All right. That's our time today.
And tell them to go stream my music.
Oh, yes. Well, you tell them, you know.
They need to stream my music, honey. Go to Belle on all streaming platforms. And Amazing Love will be out on Pyro Records in August.
Oh, all right. Well, y'all heard it from Belle herself. Thank you for joining. That's a wrap. Girl. Ooh, these little coochie cutters.
They be cutting in there.
Inside of the whole. Now, this will give you a pH balance a problem.
Well, you know what? That's if you ain't wearing no undies like that.
I did put on underwear today.
Wear the little exactly.
Yes. Normally I don't. But I like to wear these jeans because they're not super, super short. Like, they don't show my butt. And so when I wear jeans that I know that I want to wear again, I have to wear underwear so I could wear it again. But if I
Yeah.
went commando, then I wouldn't. I would have to wash them. But
Yeah.